Hello, students. We are now in chapter 10, and in this chapter, we will study about e-commerce, focusing about digital market and digital goods. And for the study case, we will look into Deliveroo. It's kind of delivery apps in the UK. So it's the same app just like Uber Eats and Foodpanda, but here Deliveroo is one of the delivery apps in the United Kingdom. So we will look how the study case about, but before that, I would like to tell you some the objectives of in this chapter. So in this chapter, we will get some objectives of how the e-commerce going and the unique features of the e-commerce, digital markets, and digital goods. And then we will look into some of the principles of the e-commerce business and how the e-commerce revenue models. And then we will also look into how the e-commerce transform the marketing from the traditional into the modern one, and how the e-commerce will affect the business to business transaction. We'll see what kind of business type in the e-commerce. And then we will see another type of commerce. It is called m-commerce in business. And what are the most important e-commerce applications? And we will also learn the issue which must be addressed when building an e-commerce presence. So now let's check the study case, yeah, the Deliveroo, the global food delivery apps. So later on you can see the YouTube video, but let's just move into the summary of the study case here. So Deliveroo is a global food delivery app which is connecting hungry customers with the restaurants via Reliance countries. And it operates in nearly 800 cities and towns, partnering with over 100,000 restaurants and utilizing about 80,000 riders. Initially used for convenience, Deliveroo became essential during the pandemic, accelerating food delivery adoption. The apps benefits the restaurants by expanding their reach without additional cost, offers flexible work for the couriers, and employs technology like AWS to optimize operations and scale. Despite its success, Deliveroo faces profitability challenges and legal disputes over worker classifications and benefits. So Deliveroo, in this case, they don't uh, have additional cost for both of the couriers and the restaurants. But here in Taiwan, we have Foodpanda and Uber Eats. Both of these apps will cost the restaurants and the driver, I think. Yeah. But for the restaurants, it will add 35% cost for the overall price of the food. Meanwhile, sorry, it's not driver, it's customer. So it's cost for the both for the restaurants and also for the customers. And the customers itself, since the price from the restaurants is higher than the actual price, yeah, of course, since the apps will ask for the additional cost, which is 35%, so the customers will also have more expensive food than the actual price. So it's different from Deliveroo, yeah, in this case. Okay. So that is about the Deliveroo and additional information about the Food Panda and Uber Eats in this case. Yeah, it happens in Taiwan, and I think it also happens in all over the countries. Yeah, about how the Food Panda and Uber Eats works. And now we will see what is the unique features of the e-commerce. Yeah, and we're going to talk about what makes the online shopping, which is called e-commerce, digital markets, and digital products so special. And we will look at how buying and selling online works and what makes the digital stuff different from the physical things you can touch. Let's explore these topics together to understand how they will change the way we shop and the way we do the business online. Okay, nowadays, buy things online using phones, tablets, or computers is very common. It's very easy. You can do it anywhere, anytime, at your most convenient time. So in 2020, about 2.25 billion people worldwide will shop online, which is over 55% of all internet users. And e-commerce, which includes online shopping for goods, travel, services, and content, is growing fast and changing how many companies cooperate. In the United States alone, e-commerce sales are expected to reach $1.2 trillion in 2020. So globally, online retail sales will make up nearly 17% of all retail sales. It includes the mobile shopping accounting for 60%, 65% of that. And e-commerce itself began in 1995 and has grown rapidly since then, even during the economic downturns. And while some e-commerce companies failed, others like Amazon and eBay thrived and continue to do well today. And e-commerce has changed a lot recently, which is becoming more social, more mobile, and more local. In the past, companies mainly used ads on website and search engines and email for online marketing. But now, social media like Facebook, uh, Twitter, Instagram, which is used smartphones, are very huge. So this time, this new e-commerce world is all about having conversations with the customers and being part of online discussions. And social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and very important for this. Before, in a way before e-commerce exists, a companies could control how people saw their brand. But now, people's friends and online communities influence their buying decision. Most online ads are now on mobile phones and they are often targeted to local areas. And as smartphones get better, they're becoming more important for social media and finding local deals. Now let's see this graph. So this graph shows the growth of a B2C e-commerce. B2C is business to customer. It's a revenue in the United States from 1995, yeah, until 2020. The y-axis shows the growth in e-commerce, which is B2C revenue in billions. And the x-axis shows the years. As you can see in the graph that there are vertical grid lines for every year from 1995 to 2022, sorry. And the revenue starts at zero in 1995 and then it goes up in, in 1600 billions in 2022. So as you can see here, and you can conclude here that starting from 1999, the e-commerce growth rapidly until 2022. And as you can see here in this graph, it's also illustrating how the e-commerce sales growth from 2014 to 2019. In the 2015, the global e-retail sales grew to 25% compared to the previous year, making up 7.4% of the total retail market worldwide. Here in this image, as you can see here, it's a retail e-commerce sales in China from 2014 to 2018. It shows the growth of retail e-commerce sales. And the red line, it represents the growth of the retail e-commerce sales, while the blue line represents the growth of total retail sales. The retail e-commerce sales in China grew significantly from 2014 to 2018 with a year-on-year increase of 48% in 2014 and 12% in 2018. And the e-commerce sales also continue to represent an increasing proportion of total retail sales. Let's see 2014. In 2014, e-commerce sales accounted for 12% of total retail sales. That number grew to 28% in 2018. The next image is about a table of retail e-commerce sales by the country in 2014 until 2019. It shows the e-commerce sales in billions of US dollars for China, US, UK, Japan, Germany, and many more. As you can see in the image here, China leads the e-commerce sales, has the highest sales among the other countries listed here, with a value of 472.91 billion in 2014 and 1,900 more billion in 2019. Meanwhile, the US countries is the second position with a value of more than 300 billion in 2014 and more than 500 billion in 2019. The next one, we have retail e-commerce sales as a percent of total retail sales in selected countries, still from 2014 until 2019. And again, China has the highest percentage of all retail e-commerce sales among the countries listed, starting at 12% in 2014, and it can reach 33% in 2019. The other countries show a steady increase in the percentage of retail e-commerce sales over the years. For instance, the US, it grew from 6% in 2014 to 9.8% in 2019. Where in Taiwan? So Taiwan, it has 11% in 2014. Okay. So I would like to know, why do you prefer to buy online? So I have a question this in class. Why do you buy online? And we have some reasons why people buy online. And some of you are answering uh, because it's flexibility. Like you can buy anything online from anywhere, anytime, at your most convenient time. Also, if you buy online, you can have opportunity to differentiate um, which price is most suitable for you. Okay. So apart from the reason most of the people choose why they choose buy online, so we will look into 8 different unique features of e-commerce. Yeah. So now we will discuss why e-commerce is different by looking into eight its unique features. The first one is called ubiquity, and the second one is global reach, universal standard. Yeah, we will look into one by one. But first, we have ubiquity. So, ubiquity is special terms about the commercial benefits. What do you think about the ubiquity is? So as you know that e-commerce is everywhere all the time, and it's unlike the traditional shopping. You can shop from home, from your work, or even in your car using your phone. So this creates a market space where the shopping is not tied to a specific place or time. And for shoppers, this means less time and money spent traveling to stores. And of course, it's easier to make a purchases. So it's called ubiquity. The next unique features from the e-commerce is called global reach. So e-commerce lets the businesses sell things to people all around the world, crossing cultural and national borders easily. This means e-commerce sellers can reach a huge market of about 4 billion people, which is roughly the number of the people online. In contrast, traditional commerce usually stays local and regional, which is involving local stores or national chains with local branches. TV, radio, and newspapers are mostly local or regional too, reaching a national audience but not easily going global. And e-commerce can do this. Yeah. So what is called global reach? The next one, we discuss the next few unique features of e-commerce, which is called universal standards. So e-commerce uses universal standards for the internet, meaning all the countries share the same rules for how computers connect. This is different from the traditional commerce, where each country might have its own rules for things like TV and phone technology. With the universal standards, it's cheaper for businesses to sell online, and it's easier for the customers to find what they are looking for. This is what we call universal standards. The next feature is called richness. So richness in communication means how much information is in a message. Places like local stores and markets are very rich because they can give personal service and face to face communication. Before the internet, reaching a big audience meant losing richness in the message. But now, the web lets us send rich message with text, the audio and video to lots of people at once at the same time. Okay? So this is what we call richness because e-commerce supports video audio, and text message. The next features is called interactivity. So e-commerce is different from the older technologies because it's interactive. This means people can communicate back and forth, like talking on the phone. Unlike TV, where you cannot interact, on e-commerce website, you can ask any questions, chat with friends, and fill out a forms. This interactivity lets online stores connect with customers just like they would in person. With too many people all over the world at once. The next features is called information density. Okay. So the internet and web have increased the amount and quality of information available to everyone. In e-commerce, this means prices and costs are more transparent. Consumers can easily compare prices and merchants can see what consumers are willing to pay. This allows the merchants to sell the same product at different prices to different groups. For examples, they make over expensive vacations to people willing to pay more and cheaper ones to those who want a better deal. And the informations also helps the merchants show how their products are different from the others in terms of cost, brand, and the quality. The next feature is called personalization or customization. So e-commerce technology allows for personalization and customization. This means that the merchants can tailor marketing message and products to individual customers based on their interest, past purchases, and behavior online. With e-commerce, a lot of information about customers can be collected and used by the online sellers. This level of personalization is much more advanced than what's possible with traditional commerce. For example, while you can choose which TV channels to watch, but you cannot change the content on that channel, right? But with online news site, you can pick up the type of news you want to see first and get alerts for the specific events. That's how the e-commerce works, yeah. It's called personalization and customization. The last feature from e-commerce is called social technology. Today's technology, especially the internet and e-commerce, it's much more social. So people can create and share content like text, videos, music, and photos with their friends in a big online community. So unlike before, where only experts made content for a big audience, now anyone can create and share. The internet lets many people share with many others, changing how we communicate. So that's why we can see a lot of content creators nowadays in the Instagram, in the TikTok. Like everyone can be a celebrity, everyone can be a content creator, and everyone can be a famous person, right? So nowadays it's very different from the past. Now let's see how the digital markets and how the key concept in e-commerce. So in this slide, we will discuss about digital markets and discuss the effects of the digital markets on the ways company conduct the business. Okay, so let's take one by one. So we have a digital market reduce here and some of terms listed here. Okay, we will discuss one by one. So information asymmetry. So one party in a transaction has more information that is important for the transaction than the other party. So it's called the information asymmetry. And then the digital market will also reduce the search cost. So search cost is a term means the effort to find a suitable products. The digital markets also reduce transaction cost. The transaction cost term here means the cost of participating in a market. And the last one, digital markets also reduce what is called menu cost. So the merchant's cost of changing prices. Yeah. The next one, digital markets can enable some of the following things. Yeah. The first one is called price discrimination. So price discrimination here means we need to sell the same goods or nearly the same goods to different targeted groups at different prices. Okay. And it also enabled the what is called dynamic pricing. So the dynamic pricing here means the price of a product varies depending on the demand characteristic of the customers or the supply situation of the seller. Digital markets also enable what is called disintermediation. Disintermediation is the removal of organizations or business process layers, which is responsible for intermediary steps in the value chain. So, the internet has created a global digital marketplace where businesses can exchange information easily and instantly. This has changed the way companies do the business and making it easier to reach customers worldwide. And digital markets are more transparent than the traditional ones because consumers and suppliers can see prices and compare them easily. With reduced search and transaction costs, online markets are more efficient and flexible, allowing for dynamic pricing based on the demand. Selling directly to consumers online can lower cost and increase profits by eliminating intermediaries. Digital goods like music, movies, and software are delivered over the internet and have low production cost. This has revolutionized industries like music and movies, leading to a decline in physical sales but a rise in digital streaming and downloads. And this graphic illustrates how this intermediation reduces prices to consumers. It also allows the manufacturers to earn more profit. for the product by eliminating the middleman. As you can see here, from manufacturers to customers, there, there are distributors and retailers. But, but um, day by day, if the manufacturers can reach the customers directly, as you can see here, the cost will be reduced. The internet has transformed the way we buy and we consume the digital goods like the music, movies, software, and books. And these products can be easily delivered online and reducing the need for physical copies. While the cost of producing additional digital units is minimal, the initial production costs can be high. The rise of digital distribution has significantly impacted industries reliant on physical products such as bookstores and music labels. However, legal streaming services have helped offset some of the revenue lost. Meanwhile, in the movie industry, deals with online platforms have made it easier to access high quality content, which lead to a shift towards digital formats. With over 3 billion internet users expected to watch online videos, the internet is emerging as a major distribution channel for movies and TV shows. Now let's move on to the next section. We will explore how the online businesses operate and make money. We will cover different models used by the e-commerce companies to sell products and services online and to generate revenue. So, I will introduce some of the types of e-commerce. Yeah, we have three major types of e-commerce. The first one is B2C, it's business to consumer, and then B2B, it's business to business, and the last one is called B2 C2C, consumer to consumer. So these types is categorized based on the nature of the participants. And the last commerce is called m-commerce, is a category based on the nature of the connection of the internet. So the rise of the internet has led to emergence of the new e-commerce business models, transforming the way goods and services are brought and sold. Like portals like Yahoo and Facebook, it serve as central hubs for users, which is offering a range of services from news to shopping. And the next business models, which is called e-tailers like Amazon, it provides a convenient online stores for purchasing physical goods, while content providers distribute the digital content like music and videos. And the next one, it's called transaction brokers, such as the online stock brokers and travel booking services, facilitate transaction online, which is of course saving your time and money, yeah, for the customers. The market creators like eBay and Amazon's merchants, the platforms bring the buyers and sellers together in a digital marketplace. And service providers over online services like photo sharing and software subscription, while the community providers, including social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter, it creates the digital spaces for people with similar interests to connect and to engage. And this diverse e-commerce model have reshaped the way we shop, the way we interact, and the way we conduct the business online. Now let's discuss the way in which e-commerce sites make money, their revenue model. So can you give me examples of each site for each type of the revenue model? Okay, let's take one by one, okay? For advertising, we have Yahoo, we have Facebook, and we have Google, right? So, um, the e-commerce revenue models dictate how the companies make money online, and six main models are prevalent. Yeah, as we can see here in the slide, we have advertising, and then sales, subscription, freemium, transaction fee, and affiliate. So advertising here generates revenue by displaying ads to a large online audience, with companies like Google and Facebook leading the way. The sales revenue comes from selling goods, services, or information online, with giants like Amazon and iTunes operates under this kind of model. The next one is subscription. So, subscription models charge fees for access to a content or services, as seen with Netflix or Consumer Reports. The freemium models offers basic services for free and charge for premium features such as Pandora's subscription radio, and maybe you can see some of the software, some of the free, but if you want more advanced connection, more advanced features, then you need to subscribe. Then it's one of the models. The next, we have transaction fee models, which earn revenue by facilitating transactions like eBay's online auctions. And lastly, it's affiliate models, which earn referral fees for directing visitors to other websites, with examples including MyPoints and affiliate bloggers promoting products for a commission. These models have reshaped the digital landscape and offering the various ways for companies to monetize their online presence. Let's move to the next sections. So this section explores how the online shopping has transformed marketing strategies and enabling the businesses to reach global audiences with a personalized campaign. We will try to discuss how the data analytics and how the social media have become integral to understanding and engaging with customers driving sales and brand awareness. So, behavior targeting is a strategy used by many e commerce marketers to enhance the effectiveness of online advertisement. By tracking user click streams across the various websites, marketers can tailor ads to match the individual interest and behavior. While this approach can lead to more efficient marketing and increased sales, concern about the privacy invasion have arisen, prompting the backlash from the consumers. So, despite its effectiveness, the behavior targeting faces growing scrutiny and calls for regulatory interventions to protect the user's privacy in the digital age. So, in this graphic, will illustrate how the clickstream tracking works and what the store can tell about the activities of the shopper on their website. Extensive metric exists for the various types of user behavior, from the time spent on the web pages to a number of the product ordered and placed in a shopping cart but not purchased. Amazing, right? So as you can see here, it's called website visitor tracking. The click one, the shopper clicks on the home page, and then store can tell the shopper arrived at the Yahoo portals at specific time, and then it will help the customer service to centers and how long they lingered to a home page, which might indicate trouble navigating the sites, and then the shopper will clicks on the specific goods, yeah, specific things on the website, which we can get it as the second click, yeah, and then it's maybe it's a woman white blouse or something like that, and then clicks to view the same items in pink, yeah, for example. The shopper clicks to select the items in the size of 10, yeah, in pink colors, and click to place it in the shopping cart. Yeah. This information will help the store to determine which sizes and colors are most popular. And from the shopping charts page, the shoppers clicked to close the browsers to leave the website without purchase the items. Yeah. These actions could indicate the shoppers changed her mind or that she had a problem with the website's checkout payments process, maybe. Yeah. And such behavior might signal the website was not well designed. So, this is how the visitor tracking works. So, you need to be careful when you do online shopping. And this graphic illustrates some of the types of the personalization that clickstreams tracking can make possible. So, have you ever found out when you are about to buy something and then later on the ads comes to your feed again and again and again? That's how the claim stream works. Yeah. And that's how the personalization works. And this is how almost all the website works. Yeah. If you go to the Amazon.com and you will know how the recommender systems work. Search for a product and then scroll to the bottom of the page where the Amazon's recommended tell you what the other people who looked at the current page actually bought. And also Netflix. Netflix is also an excellent site to demonstrate this kind of personalization. Okay, next one. This is how an advertising network works. Yeah. So an advertising network it acts as a middleman between advertisers and publishers. So advertisers here are the businesses that want to pay to promote their products or services to a target audience. And the publishers here means the website or the app owners who have the space to display the ads. And the steps is start from the merchant who sign up with an ad network. Yeah, this diagram shows a merchant's website, the advertisers, which is connecting with the Google marketing platform, the ad network. And the merchant creates a profile that specifies their target audience and budget. And next, the consumer visits a publisher's site. Yeah, this diagram shows the consumer visiting the website that is part of the Google marketing platforms network. And then the ad network who selects the ad. Yeah, so the ad network uses the cookies to track the consumer's browsing habits and interests. And based on this data, the ad network will select an appropriate ad from an advertisers to display on the publisher's website. The next, consumers sees the ad. The selected ad is then displayed on the publisher's website. And the ad network will track the consumers. The ad network may track the consumers clicked on the ad to see if the advertising campaign is successful or not. Okay, so that is how the advertising network works. So let's see the e-commerce business and revenue model. The social e-commerce is utilizing platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's rapidly growing, with the companies investing billions in social media marketing. So the concept of the digital social graph maps online social the relationship, illustrating the interconnectedness and the potential reach the influence. The marketers leverage social networks to target the audiences more effectively, recognizing the impact of peer recommendations on purchasing decisions. So, platforms like Facebook will dominate the social marketing revenue with the billions of likes and comments processed daily. It will showcasing the power of social influence in e-commerce. And social e-commerce is also growing fast because of its key features. The newsfeed and timeline is keep the users updated on what's happening. Social signed on makes logging in easy by using your social media account. Collaborative shopping lets a friend shares ideas about what to buy, and the network notifications keeps user informed about the activity and their social circles. And the next one is the social search will recommend the products based on what friends like and what friends like to buy. And these features make shopping online more fun and interactive, driving the growth of social e-commerce. So we have what is called the wisdom of crowds. This is very important in the e-commerce. Let's see what is it about. So this kind of theory proposes that the collective wisdom of the large groups can often surpass the insight of the individuals or small committees. It is offering businesses valuable perspectives. So, in marketing, this kind of concept will advocate for firms to actively engage with thousands of customers to foster relationship and gain a deeper understanding of how their products are used and perceived. So, beyond seeking advice, companies can harness the power of crowdsourcing to tackle the business challenges, such as the product design or innovation, by enlisting the help of their customer base. Let's take an example from BMW's project to design a future urban vehicles with customer input and crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter, where the investors support startup the ventures. However, navigating social media marketing presents its own set of challenges as companies seek to manage interactions and customers' sentiment effectively while protecting their brand image. So, efforts on platforms such as Facebook and Instagram exemplify the company's ongoing experimentation with the social marketing strategies. Now, let's move on to the next section. So, in this section, we'll examine how the e-commerce has transformed the business to business transactions. The e-commerce or online buying and selling has significantly changed the way businesses interact with one another. So we will explore the effect of e-commerce on B2B dealings from simplifying processes to reaching broader markets and creating new business approaches. For the B2B e-commerce, representing a vast market encompasses a substantial portion of trade between business entities. In the United States alone, B2B trade amounted to approximately 14.5 trillion in 2020, with online B2B transactions contributing about 6.7 trillion. And the predictions indicate that B2B e-commerce will continue to grow, reaching around 7.3 trillion by 2020. However, the traditional process of conducting B2B trade is complex and resource intensive, often involving significant administrative overhead cost per purchased order. By automating procurement processes and leveraging the internet, the B2B e commerce holds the premise of releasing trillions of dollars for more productive uses, which boosts the productivity and expanding economic wealth. Yet the challenge lies in transforming existing procurement patterns and systems to embrace new internet and cloud-based solutions for the B2B transaction. So, B2B e-commerce relies heavily on the EDI. Yeah, it's called electronic data interchange, or we call it EDI. It's accounting for about 80% of online transactions in the United States. EDI facilitates the computerized exchange of standard business documents like invoices and purchase orders between organizations. Initially used for document automation, EDI has evolved into a system for continuous replenishment, particularly for firms practicing just-in-time inventory management. While some still rely on private networks for EDI, many are transitioning for to web-enabled platforms due to the flexibility and cost effectiveness of the internet technology. This shift enables businesses to extend the digital capabilities to various procurement activities, from sorting and negotiation to payment and logistics, expanding their network of trading partners beyond the traditional EDI network. So let's move on to the next slides. And this slide continues the discussions of the way the internet and web technologies have changed B2B e-commerce. One way is in using an extranet to link to the firm's suppliers. The text provides the example of VW Group Supply, which links the Volkswagen Group and its suppliers. The Volkswagen Group Supply handles 90% of all global purchasing for Volkswagen, including all the automotive and parts components. And the internet have revolutionized the B2B commerce. It's offering the businesses new avenues for buying and selling. The companies can establish the electronic storefronts mirroring the B2C practices or even utilize the web technology to create the externets and electronics marketplaces for trade transactions. The private industrial networks, such as the Volkswagen Group Supply, it allows large firms to connect securely with suppliers and partners and facilitating collaborations in various areas like product development, marketing, and inventory management. These networks, also known as private exchange, streamline the purchasing process and enable the efficient global procurement as exemplified by Volkswagen Group Supply, which manage 90% of the global purchasing activities. The next one we have a graphic which is illustrating a private industrial network. and how it can link to both suppliers and distributors. The private industrial networks are owned by the company that uses and creates them. If they are private and you need to be asked to join. Okay, let's move on to the next slides. This slide continues the discussion of the way the internet and web technologies have changed B2B e-commerce. In this case, the ability to create net marketplace. So we have net marketplace, or we call it e-hubs. It's digital platforms facilitating trade between multiple buyers and sellers online. And they offer various pricing methods and cater to both direct and indirect goods. It's serving specific industries or broader markets. Exostar, for example, it focuses on the aerospace and defense, connecting major companies with suppliers for long-term contract and collaboration. It benefiting thousands of partners across the sectors. And this graphic illustrates a net marketplace and the function that it can provide to participants in managing their transaction. The text provided examples of Exostar and aerospace and defense industry sponsored net marketplace that focuses on the long-term contract, purchasing the relationship, and on providing common networks and computing platforms for reducing the supply chain inefficiencies. So more than 16,000 trading partners in the commercial, military, and the government sectors uses ESOCSTAR sourcing, the e-procurement and collaboration tools for both direct and indirect goods. Exchange are online marketplaces connecting numerous suppliers and buyers for immediate purchasing, primarily focusing on specific industries like food or electronics. However, many exchanges struggle due to their emphasis on competitive bidding, which often lead to reduced prices without fostering long-term relationship or offering essential services. Direct purchases, especially those requiring contracts and considerations like delivery timing and product quality, typically don't suit the spot buying model common on exchanges. Now let's move on to the next section, which is about the significance of m-commerce in business operations, and we will highlight some of the most important applications of m-commerce technology. From mobile shopping to mobile banking, the influence of the e-commerce extends across the various industries, reshaping how the business interact with customers and conduct transactions in the mobile first world. So in 2020, retail and commerce is projected to represent 65% of all retail e-commerce, totaling approximately $2.54 trillion dollars in revenues annually, and it's the fastest growing segment of e-commerce, with an annual expansion rate exceeding 15%. And by 2023, it's anticipated to reach 4 trillion globally. The key areas of growth include the mass market retailing like Amazon, digital content sales like music, TV shows, movies, ebooks, and in-app purchases. And the location-based services like Uber and Airbnb also contribute to m-commerce growth. And the factors such as the larger mobile screens and simplified payment processes further drive the expansion of the e-commerce. So nowadays, m-commerce is getting easier. You can access anything, like literally anything in the world, just with your phone. You can book a hotel using booking.com. You can book an ticket online, and then you also do the payment online. It's very easy nowadays. And thanks to e-commerce. So let's see this graph. And this graph illustrates the surging growth of m-commerce sales. In the early years prior to 2016, the m-commerce in the US was very small and not growing rapidly. Because of what? The cell phones, yeah, especially smartphones, have changed that. Hey, have any of you purchased something using your cell phones or mobile phones, using your laptop or using your computers? Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah. Most of you, yeah. Most of you have ever purchased something using your mobile phone. Because of what? Because it's very convenient, right? You can just lay down in your room and then open your iPad or your phone and access the shopping app like Shopee, or we have what is called Latif, yeah, in Taiwan. If you want to buy clothes, even Uniqlo and H&M, I think they also have the apps, yeah. But in Taiwan, if you want to buy an electronics, yeah, also available if you are accessing Momo Shop. So it's now getting easier day by day. And if you don't have or you are afraid of using your credit card online, then you can just pay when the package you receive. It's called cash on delivery. It's very easy nowadays, right? So I believe that most of the students are experienced purchased something online, right? So it's not new for you. I think it's very common nowadays. That's why it's getting higher, the revenues worldwide. Next, it's called a location-based service. So location-based services is very crucial for the mobile commerce. It includes geosocial, geo-advertising, and geo-information, with 74% of smartphone users utilizing them. With GPS-enabled smartphones, users can access features like friend tracking, family tracking, targeted ads, and location data. Some popular apps like Waze gather real-time traffic information, while platforms like Foursquare facilitate social networking and reviews, and then Geo advertising targets consumers based on TPS, exemplified by the Kill stores targeted offers. Yeah, it's very easy nowadays. And maybe you need to experience to sell something. You have experience purchase online, but next time you need to be the sellers. Yeah, one day. Yeah, you have to have this kind of experience. So when you sell online, yeah, for example, you want your products to be sponsored by the Facebook, then you will also have this kind of options, which target customers target, which market you are about to target. Is it in Taiwan or is it in your home country? Yeah, it's very easy. And then this is called location based service. So another kind of mobile commerce services we can check here, like the banks. Yeah, you have mobile banks. Yeah, banks offer mobile services. Yeah, which is allowing the customers to manage accounts, while mobile advertising thrives projected to reach about 200 more than 200 billions in 2020. So the Facebook and Google dominates this space, and Shopkicks reward shoppers with coupons upon the store entry. And nearly half of top US retailers have mobile commerce websites or apps. And mobile payments app like the Apple Pay, it's used the NFC for contactless transactions with the QR code systems like also used by the Walmart Pay. It just scan the codes for the payments, and also Line Pay. You just scan the QR codes to pay. And peer-to-peer apps like the Venmo, it also facilitates the individual money transfers. It's very easy nowadays, right? Okay, let's move on to the next section. The section explores the significance of m-commerce in business operations, and it highlights some of the most important applications of m-commerce technology, from mobile shopping to mobile banking, and the influence of the m-commerce extends across the various industries, reshaping how the businesses interact with the customers and conduct transactions in the mobile first world. So, creating an e-commerce presence involves the key management challenges such as defining clear business objectives and selecting the appropriate technology. It's very crucial to create an e-commerce presence map covering the websites, email, social media, and offline media, of course. And developing a timeline with a milestone is also essential for tracking progress. Breaking down the project into distinct phases will help the managers to process the effectively. And this is the examples of e-commerce presence map. Okay, so we have a type of the presence here. It's called website and then email, social media, and offline media. And you need to mention all the platforms. Yeah, for example, websites. The platforms will be traditional, mobile, and tablets. And the activity is includes the search, display, apps, affiliates with the sponsorship. Meanwhile, for the email, yeah, will include the platform of internal list and purchase list. So the activity will include the newsletter update after the sales. The next one is called social media. So we can utilize Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or blogs, and the activity will include the conversation, engagement, sharing, and advice. We can also utilize the group, the community of some of the particular community which is related to the interest, which is related to the products to boost the sales. And then the last one is called offline media. So it includes a print. Yeah, it's maybe it's a booklet or a pamphlet, a kind of things, and then TV and radio. So the activity will include the education and the exposure and the branding itself. So this is the timeline. Yeah, the phase one you need to do planning. Yeah, so it's web presence and determine the personnel. Yeah, and then the next one is the website development. Website development, which is in acquire the content, develop a sign design, and then arrange for hosting the site. And then the next one is web implementation. So web implementation is include the activity of developing the keywords and meta tags, focusing on the search engine organization and identify the potential sponsors. So in this meta tags and search engine optimization, it has some specific objective. Since customers often using a Google search to find a product or items that they would like to buy. So, search engine optimization will push the websites into the first list of the search result. Yeah. And then social media plans. Yeah. It's identify appropriate social media platforms and content for your products and services. It's a very important whether you are using a celebrity or ambassador to promote your product. It also includes in this plan. And then social media implementation. Yeah, develop Facebook, Twitter, to engage more with the customers. And if they have content comments through or asking our questions, they can get us easily by using a social media platform. And the next one we call mobile plan. So we develop a mobile plan considering options for porting your websites into a smartphone. So the customer will easily access our website using their smartphone. So that's why we need to cover all the bases here. And related to the video cases, I will uh, include in the iLearning and you can watch later. Okay, that's all of the chapter 10. If you have any questions, then posted some questions at the email or you can just post it on the iLearning. Okay, that's all of the chapter 10, and we will see you in the next chapter 11. Okay, goodbye.